We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall, you see. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Izuku, he don't live in reality. Shake back off, become a fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? He think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing us. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene, yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team, yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around, you know that I roll with some kings. We sit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, and I'm back. Back with you with another new part of What If Izuku Had Elemental Heroes? This is part 4, and once again, thanks a lot for the love and support that you guys have for this What If series. Not surprising that it's getting a lot of traction since, if I'm going to be completely honest, neither did I knew that Yu-Gi-Oh! Was getting more and more of a resurgence as time goes on this year, actually, since a lot of old cards are getting some, well, support in modern times. Hell, even Elemental Heroes recently got some new cards and upgraded, and old cards getting upgraded for official TCG tournaments after all. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm impressed and grateful to be part of the trend again. So with all that said, let's go to the necessary recap. In the last part, Izuku was getting ready for that of the UA entrance exam, as he's hyped, excited, but also nervous at the same time. However, thanks to the pep talk from that of his dual spirits, giving him a pep talk after all. And however, it also shows that Izuku is no longer the outcast that he used to be, where people basically written him off for nothing and basically not even caring about him, but being helped by that of 2 girls at the same time during the entrance exam, being Ochako, Uraraka, and Alexis Rhodes. Not to mention being shown off that of his dual spirits in that of the practical exam, getting a lot of attention from the UA faculty, and even got to finally use that of his dual spirits in combat properly without passing out or without, well, basically causing trouble to himself. Defeating the 0-point robot using Flame Wingman and beating them pretty easily. So now all that's left is Izuku getting his entrance letter. So with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Also, a bit of a heads up, I'm going to be asking you guys something at the very end of this What If, so keep in mind on that if you guys continue watching. So yeah, and right, back to the vid. As it's been a few days since that of the UA entrance exam, and Izuku hasn't heard anything about that of his entrance letter just yet, as he's just basically eating dinner while basically waiting for the results. But he hasn't remained idle at all. He's gained that of a few new cards from deliveries and after all, and building up his deck even more and more. Hell, he even gained that of a unique rare card that he wouldn't expect him to ever find, actually. But that could basically amplify his, well, dueling skills in combos for that of battle, for that of combat after all. But we'll get into that a later date. With then, soon, Izuku finishing up dinner saying, "Thanks for the meal, Mom. I'm going to head back to my room," saying, "Sweetie, are you okay?" Saying, I'm fine. Just a little bit worried about what I'm going to get from my entrance exam, that's all." As he walks away, with Inko a little bit worried, deciding to check that in the mail for the time being for our son. Hopefully that he got his letter already. As he goes in his room and begins to go over that of his cards, within Neos basically materializing behind that of Izuku saying, "You don't need to continue worrying like this. You've improved quite a bit. Not to mention, you did well during the entrance exam." With Izuku putting his cards back into the deck, basically sorting out the cracks into them, making sure that they're all neat together, saying, "You say that, but maybe that they didn't think that my dual spirits were really part of me after all. Maybe they thought that that they were other applicants or people who just snuck in. And now they're trying to look for them on a manhunt. I mean, Elemental Hero Wildheart didn't help." Within, Wildheart spoke up saying, "I beg your finest pardon, Izuku. I was giving it my all for your sake, and this is the gratitude I get." But then Izuku saying, sorry. I appreciate it, Wildheart. But still, but then thinking, all I've basically done is worried for the worst. Because all I've expected in my entire life is nothing but the worst. So I'm thinking that the only good things and positives I've actually had was basically knowing you guys exist and always had my back. So no, I'm thinking that all that good time, that luck, and the joy I've had is now basically gone again. It's just the same old. That's all. With hearing that, Neos, alongside many other dual spirits within Izuku's decks, could feel it. Especially a certain deck that Izuku was trying to keep his eyes off of looking. Starting to feel that of the malice and hatred. But not towards Izuku, but towards the world. For the unfairness that Izuku had to be consumed by. Within, Izuku shaking his head saying, "Just never mind though, guys. At any rate, hopefully I'll get my entrance letter sooner than later." Before then, as he could basically about to sort out another piece of his decks, that's when busting through that out of the door, being that of Inko, as she basically frantically scattering on the ground with Izuku shocked surprise saying, "Mom, what's going on? Izuku, you have a letter from UA." Within hearing that, he having that of a look of pure and utter dumbfoundedness and shock. What soon, left in his room alone, all that remains is basically that of himself and the letter on his desk, saying, "Oh well, let's do this." As he opens it up, however, inspecting that of a paper, instead he gained that of a disc, a hologram disc actually. With then opening up the disc, as it activates, showing that of a certain hero he knows all too well, saying, "All Might, I am here to give you the results of your entrance exam, young man." Now you may be wondering why I, All Might, is basically the one chosen to give you that of your entrance letters. Well, don't tell anyone about this, actually. Please don't. Is that I'll be basically a UA teacher this year. With Izuku hearing that his idol and the man that nearly basically crushed his dreams is basically going to be a teacher there. As part of him wants to be excited, but the other part of him is a little bit annoyed as well. Within, All Might goes over the results saying, "Now then, you're Izuku Midoriya. Allow me to explain. For the written portion of the exam, you done quite well for yourself. You didn't get the highest, but at least you made it quite high in that of the exam itself. Around that of the top 5. And for that, I welcome you." With Izuku having that of a big bright smile on his face. With then saying, "However, as for the practical exam, you also done quite well. It was at first we were wondering the secrets behind your quirk and wondering if you even took down any robots at all. Until we found out." Within, showing pictures of Elemental Hero Avion, Elemental Hero, Wildheart, Elemental Hero Solid Soldier, and then showing Elemental Hero Bastinatrix, and also them fusing with Avion, becoming Elemental Hero Flame Wingman, leaving Izuku shocked that they did notice him use that of his elemental heroes, realizing that he was the one doing all that, with saying, and you had to have one of the most unique powers, the most unique quirk I have seen in decades as my time as a pro hero. And because of this, with all these extra points, you have gained that of 74 hero points. But then, hearing that, seeing his placement, thinking, then I made it. I made it, right? I actually made it. I qualified for. However, there's more than that of just taking down villains, what makes a hero. And because if we only focus on that of taking down villains, then that basically means we miss the very crucial point on what it means to be a hero. A hero saves others, even when they don't ask for it. That means there are other forms of points, known as rescue points. And these are a good example of this. Take a look, young man. As soon showing them another picture as it being a video playing, as two videos actually playing. One on the left showing that of Ochako asking President Mike to for half her points to give to that of Izuku for helping her, saving her life, because knowing that taking down the 0-pointer meant nothing after all, and was a waste of his energy and points, and he could have gained more points anyway, and wanting to make up for it with half of hers. As for the other, being another example, as being that of Alexis Rhodes, as she, instead of speaking with President Mike, she's speaking with that of a certain, student from a certain person wearing a UA uniform, as speaking, saying, I know you know something about the entrance exam, don't you, Zane? With that of the blue-haired boy on the screen saying, and why should I tell you, Alexis? Because there's one person I believe that deserves to be higher up in the rankings, and I feel like he's not even going to be recognized because of it. So please explain. Within seeing the two videos of Ochako and Alexis trying to help out Izuku, with then All Might saying, to be more than a hero, you have to protect others, save lives, and keep everyone safe. So you must know that there's another form of points gathering. That is rescue points, or as I like to call them, hero points. Everyone among that of the UA faculty are the ones to give out that of points, ranging from 10, as it starts from 10 and always bees 10. However, all of the faculty can give as many points as they wish, but it will always remain 10. They're even limited to that of 3 uses, and thus those of all the faculty within UA give you, young Midoriya, a whopping 70 hero points. Add that with that of your 74 villain points is 140 points, and actually broken that of my record, and I have to say is quite impressive. With Izuku Shock saying, I broke All Might's record? With many of the dual spirits can't help but congratulate Izuku, which puts him higher up into that of the rankings, within saying, and for that, I would like to welcome you to your Hero Academia, young man. Within hearing that, that's when the hologram ends and Izuku tears begin to fall. With that, Izuku can't help but feel excited, happy, and enjoy about what he has now gone through. And now he's now able to take at least another step to his goal and dream to be a hero. With feeling multiple arms wrapped around him, as it being from his dual spirits, of course, and from all of them, even the ones he's somewhat terrified of right now. Couple weeks have now gone by, with now it currently being the new year, with Izuku now having that of his UA uniform on, with him getting on his shoes and his mother asking him if he has everything, that he has all his school supplies, that he didn't just put his, action figures in that of his book bag again, with Izuku basically saying that she doesn't need to worry about him like that. And it only happened once with the action figures. So stop treating him like a kid. With then, as soon as he goes to the door, that's when Inko's saying, Izuku, I'm very proud of you, sweetie. With that, Izuku gives off that of a gentle and loving smile saying, thanks, Mom, as he takes his first step to UA High. On the way, taking the train and soon arriving at that of the H-shaped school once again, as he goes out of the halls, trying to find that of, Class 1A. But of course, unlike that of the, practical exam where they got that of, signs to know where they need to go for the entrance exam, for this, unfortunately, for now Izuku, he needs to know where he's going and wish that he came to the school early on so he can figure out where his class is. As soon as he turns through a corner, he soon runs into somebody as he falls to the ground, and then soon hearing somebody saying, "Aw, nuts, ow. Sorry, I didn't know. It's my apologies. I shouldn't have run into you like that." Before then, the two look at each other as Izuku notices that of a boy almost around the same height as him, but at least that of maybe an inch or two shorter than Izuku. The only thing that makes him kind of reach his height is that of his wild, messy, spiky blue hair and his small circular glasses, as he also wearing that of the UA uniform as well. With then saying, sorry about that. Here, let me help you out. Saying, nah, it's okay, but thanks anyway. Don't want to cause you any problems. Saying, no problems. Honestly, like I said, I'm the one that ran into you. But then the blue-haired boy saying, no, I ran into you. I have to apologize for that. As it almost looked like that of a completely, circle jerk of apologizing to one another. With then Izuku and the boy saying, I can't stay here. I got to get to class. With then saying, what class are you going to? Trying to get into that of 1C, actually. General studies, after all. Saying, you're in general studies? With then saying, yeah, are you? Sorry, I'm actually in the hero course, class 1A. Saying, really? Aw, I was actually hoping that maybe somebody similar to me would be in the same class as me. Especially the fact that I didn't even make it into the hero course. With hearing that saying, oh, you didn't? I'm sorry. Saying, yeah, but I have another chance of getting in. Just gotta wait at least a month or so to make it. With hearing that saying, month, within realize, the UA Sports Festival. Yeah, actually. My big bro told me about that, so your big brother? It's a little bit complicated. Well, I'll see you, Midoriya, Izuku Midoriya, with saying, Truesdale, Cyrus Truesdale. With then saying, hey, I'm guessing you're American? Half, actually. Well, it was nice meeting you, Midoriya, and honestly, you're really nice. A lot of people were thinking that those from the hero course were probably stuck up after all, given certain people at my junior high school thinking since I didn't make it into the hero course. I'm glad to know that you're not one of those stuck up guys that lord over the position of being a hero after all. With Izuku a little nervous saying, I would never do something like that. That's not what a hero does. Lord over stuff like that. I'm not a bully. Cyrus going, I would be surprised if you were. Well then, I hope to see you around. Yeah, you too, Truesdale. With that, the two basically go their separate ways. With then, all of Izuku's dual spirits, the ones that are a lot more, visual in what they just saw, with the ones being, Elemental Hero Pastinatrix, Elemental Hero Sparkman, Elemental Hero Poison Rose, Neospatian Pathfinder, and Elemental Hero Captain Gold all look at Izuku, then look back at Cyrus, then looking back at Izuku, but then realize, oh my god, there are two of them now. With the Elemental Heroes that basically feel a little bit worried that they're going to have a secondary clone of that of their, dual partner. With both Izuku and Cyrus none the wiser. With then, Izuku finally arrived at that of Class 1A, saying, wow, this door is huge. With then, he begins to think, within thinking about having that of Bakugo in his class, and then also thinking about that of Ida in his class. Within thinking, I really hope I don't have to have those people in my class. Within materializing right beside that of Izuku is Elemental Hero Neo saying, you don't need to worry, Izuku. The chances of you being in the same class as that boy, Ida, and Bakugo are pretty slim. Remember, Class 1A basically took in that, possibly takes in the top 20 highest ranking applicants. Then going from that of 21 to 40 for Class 1B. The chances that those two, one of them will be in Class 1B, within saying, what are the chances of Kachan being in Class 1B? With then hearing that, realizing they're quite slim, to be honest. Within, Izuku basically having his head down saying, I thought so. Before then, taking a deep breath saying, all right, let's do this. As soon he opens the door and wondering who is going to be in his class. However, his worst fears already appeared as both two people that he did not want to be in the same class with are already here, from Bakugo and Ida. With Ida strictly basically telling Bakugo to remove his feet off the desk as he's besmirching that of school property, with Bakugo not even phased, basically saying, you really think you really want to talk shit, don't you? Man, you really got a lot of nerve, basically thinking you can boss me around. As basically becoming quite one-sided, with Ida trying to trying to de-escalate that of the situation, as trying to start over, basically telling his name and everything, the school he went to. However, Bakugo always basically antagonizing people because, it's Bakugo and an asshole. So, of course, he basically thinks since he went to Some, he thinks he's better than him, even telling him that he looks forward to ripping him a new one when he gets the chance, putting him in his place and all. With Ida quite shocked the fact that he threatened him so easily and without any care, believing that he's even in the right class at all. With Bakugo about to basically, prepare his explosions while still having his feet on the desk, he soon noticed Izuku at the door as he can't help but narrow his eyes. Before then, Ida noticed it saying, oh, you! Izuku getting quite nervous as soon he stands his ground a little bit before then saying, my name is Tenya Ida. I heard you told Kachan that. No need to basically double explain yourself. With hearing that saying, I see. Well then, allow me to say this. I wish to apologize as he bows his head to Izuku, with Izuku caught off guard by that saying, the fact is, you must have known about that of the hero points from the very beginning, which also means you were paying attention to the exam way more than I should have. And I criticized you, especially about what you've gone through. For that, I wish to apologize. With then Izuku saying, no, it's okay. You don't need to do that. And to be honest, I didn't even know about rescue points at the time. I just did what I thought was right, that's all. With then saying, even more, showing that you're a true character of being a hero. With then Bakugo remembering about that of several weeks back during the end of last month on how Izuku got into that of UA as basically being praised by that of their homeroom teacher in the teacher's office. Especially praising Izuku, didn't even think that he would make it, but he did. And soon saying that they look forward to seeing what they can do once they in that of UA. And of course, as always, fragile ego Bakugo strikes again, pinning Izuku behind the school and basically telling him how the hell did he get into that of UA, that he had to cheat it after all. There's just no way a quirkless loser like him would even be able to make it. Within, Izuku standing his ground as he basically saying, Sorry, Kachan, but I'm not the same Izuku Midoriya you think you can basically look down upon. Because I told you, I plan on being a hero. No matter what you say or do, I'm not going to stop. No matter what. Within hearing that, Bakugo could see the determination and will in his eyes, as he can't help but get frustrated at Izuku. As of course he wanted to do something, he wanted to explode the nerd, but if he did, who knows on what that would lead to him, especially given the fact that he's now a UA student. If he goes missing before the school begins, who knows what will happen. With that, Bakugo basically lets go of him and decides to just go off on his own, saying, "You won't even make it through the first day, you worthless nerd." With Izuku shocked that he wasn't hit with an explosion or basically punched in the face at all. With Bubble Man basically commenting, saying, "It's only natural. People like him needs to make sure that their perfect image isn't scratched." Unfortunately, this school has basically inflated his ego so much that I'm pretty sure his school record has been forged. Within hearing that, Izuku saying, "Honestly, it wouldn't be too surprising given how much that they basically banked on Kachan getting into UA. He's too delusional to see how much everybody has basically, see him or try to use him for their own goals, leaving more of a wedge between that of the two former friends. Currently back in the present, with then somebody spoke up saying, "So, you actually did make it in. It looks like those hero points weren't really a joke. It's not like you actually needed them to begin with, though." But then Izuku noticed that of Alexis walking up to him as he begins to basically blush, seeing her in that of the UA uniform as well, which is actually quite snug around that of her, around her ample chest, to be honest, with making Izuku blush, saying, thanks for worrying about me. Within saying, Alexis Rhodes, saying, "Yes, nice to meet you, Miss Rhodes. And can't believe I'm having another woman that isn't a dual spirit talking to me. This is so weird." With then she basically raising an eyebrow, saying, that aside, Ida, was it?" Within saying, "Yes, Miss Rhodes," saying, "I think you don't need to be too strict or always that of focusing on the rules. If the teachers have a problem with it, I think that they would say it themselves. Or at least until we have a class rep properly." Within hearing that, saying, "I see. That makes absolute sense. Thank you, Rhodes." Within, he's saying, "Wow, she's just so straightforward. She has a lot of confidence. It's so cool and quite intimidating." While Izuku was thinking this, somebody came behind him saying, "Hey, I know you. You're that card guy, right?" Within, looking back, hearing a familiar voice, as it being from Ochako, saying, "Hey." Within, Izuku flustering up again, saying, you're that girl, my name is Ochako Uraka. It's nice to meet you finally. I fully didn't get a chance to speak to you after the end of the practical exams, so I wanted to finally speak to you this time." With Izuku saying, "Yeah, nice to meet you too. I'm Izuku Midoriya." Within saying, "Huh? What was that?" As she gets into that of Izuku's personal space a bit, causing him to blush quite a bit as well. She begins getting curious, wondering what they're going to be doing, what kind of classes that they'll have, and who's going to be their homeroom teacher. As then, soon, that's when a voice basically speaks up, as going ahem, as then all of them look behind them, as seeing that of a weird caterpillar looking thing. However, if you look closer, it's basically a guy in that of a yellow sleeping bag, as he speaks in that of a deadpan and somewhat tired tone, saying, "If you're only here to make friends, then I think you're in the wrong class." Before then, as you can hear that shuffling in the sleeping bag before he brings out that of a juice pouch and starts drinking it. However, leaving the students who are still standing quite shocked at the doorway looking at the person there, with then Alexis basically thinking, wait, have I seen this person before? Not to mention his tone seems quite familiar too. As she begins to try and go through that of her memories, that's when the guy gets out of his sleeping bag, showing him in that of a full-on black uniform with combat boots and also a white scarf around his shoulder, around that of his neck and shoulders. As he walks past them with that of his disheveled and basically, messy long hair and 5 o'clock shadow, standing in front of that of the podium saying, "Hello, my name is Shota Aizawa. I'll be your homeroom teacher for your entire first year." With everybody confused on who the heck this guy even is, within him pulling out something from his sleeping bag, showing this is a UA gym uniform, showing that of the bright blue uniform with that of the logo of UA being the U and A on the top and on the bottom, in front in that of bright white colors, within saying, "I want you all in that of the practice field with all these on in the changing rooms. The changing rooms will have that of your seat letter. Your lockers will have that of your seat numbers on them. So make sure you get them. Not to mention, don't be tardy." As he says all this before walking out, but then saying, "I'm being serious. Don't be tardy." As he gives everybody that of a quite menacing glare, which puts down a shiver down many of the students in the classroom. With that, everybody just decides to head out and go to that of to the locker rooms, hoping that they can find it in time. Several minutes later, they finally arrive in that of the practice field, with Aizawa, hands in his pocket, saying, "Good, you're all here. I don't like and you all made it in time too. Time is precious, and right now, every second you waste is time wasted for your development as heroes." Within, Ochako raising her hand saying, "But sir, what about the orientation ceremony? Aren't we going to miss it?" Within, soon, Aizawa looking at that of the brunette-haired girl, as she couldn't help but squeak a little bit, saying, "You're trained to be heroes, so you don't have time to waste with that of frivolous things." Within, soon, that's when Alexis raises her hand saying, "You call it frivolous, sir, but if I recall, the orientation ceremony is supposed to explain things about that of the facilities of UA, not to mention about that of the faculty. Are you saying that we're not supposed to know about that of our own teachers or educators, and only supposed to think about you? I call that arrogant, sir, but it's not disrespectful." Within, hearing that, Aizawa couldn't help but have that of a twitching eye, but also somewhat of a smirk too, saying, "You have quite a mouth on you, young lady. You are," within, remembering her file, saying, "Alexis Rhodes. But my guess, you're Atticus Rhodes' little sister. Am I correct?" Within, hearing that, saying, "My brother." With saying, "I will tell you this. Once this is over, you'll get a syllabus explaining everything here in that of UA, from the teaching staff to the locations of to their personal offices, alongside that of the guidance counselor room too, and even that of the curriculum that you'll all be having to deal with here in that of the hero course. So if you're basically thinking that I haven't think things through, Rhodes, then you have another thing coming. Try and remember that this is UA. We have to prepare for anything, and in case you're wondering, teachers here at UA have a lot more leeway on how they run their classes, especially homeroom classes. So I hope you keep that in mind." Within, she remembers about that of her brother, who came back home after hearing a certain thing, saying as soon she remembers Oh no, don't tell me. Within saying, you, Bakugo, you got one of the highest scores during that of the entrance exam. How was your farthest throw during that of your how high was that of your physical apprehension test in junior high? Within Bakugo nonchalantly saying, at least at a 52 meters, give or take. Within saying, all right then, use this, as he soon tosses that of the ball towards that of Bakugo, saying, throw this ball using your quirk, but stay in the circle. Got it? Within hearing that, Bakugo saying, sure. As he walks into that of the circle, he can't help but have that of a twisted smile on his face. With Izuku realizing, wait, we're going to be using our quirks during an athletic apprehension test? Within, Neo saying, this isn't good. You can't be able to summon that of you. If you don't have your dual disc on you, you can't be able to basically channel your Ba and Ka properly. You'll have to use that of one monster at a time. But then Izuku saying, not to mention, I only brought one of my decks, and that was the Neo-Spacians. I didn't think I would need that of my others. But then Neo saying, you only brought Neo-Spacians? Actually, this could work in our favor. With saying, how? You said you can only summon one monster at a time, right? Saying, well, yeah. As while he's speaking to that of Neo's, Bakugo sent his explosion ball straight into that of the sky while screaming, die. However, Izuku is so used to this that he doesn't even phased by it, actually, while everybody else is having that of eyes of pure and utter shock, and also in that of dumbfoundedness, wondering why the hell did he scream die? With then showing that of Bakugo's, score, 705.2 meters in straight across. With that, soon Bakugo couldn't help but have that of a cocky-ass smirk and grin on his face. With hearing that, with Aizawa just basically saying, you see this, everyone? This is what you need to achieve. I want you all to basically give it your all through each and every one of these tasks. To see where you all stand at now with your quirks in that of athletic abilities. So, you better all don't hold anything back. With Izuku hearing that saying, well, now we know. With then Neo saying, good thing. I think it's wise that you brought out the Neo-Spacians. You guys ready? Within, seeing all of his fellow Neo-Spacians all right in front of him, as many of them all agree in their own ways with going, yep, yes, let's do it, or nods. With that, Izuku couldn't help but look back too. Before then, Aizawa saying, Midoriya, where the hell are you looking? Within, Izuku standing in place saying, right, oh, nothing, sir. Sorry, sir. With then him basically raising an eyebrow before hearing everybody basically saying, mainly that of a guy with blonde hair and a lightning bolt streak in it, and that of a pink-skinned girl with messy pink hair, basically saying that they get to use their quirks all they want. This is what the hero course is all about. This is definitely going to be a lot of fun. Within hearing that, as I was saying, fun, you say? I told you that your time here at UA is important, and you still all think that this is all going to be fun and games? Well then, how about this? The person in that of last place will be expelled from the class. Within hearing that, a pin drop, you could hear that of a pin drop, with everything being so silent, but everybody's expressions show that of utter fear, with even Izuku having that of a look of pure and utter fear as well, with everybody not basically thinking he's joking, however, seeing the serious look on his face, realizing he isn't. Within Ochako saying, you can't do that. This is only our first day. Not to mention, we all worked so hard to get into UA. It's not fair. With even Alexis spoke up saying, sir, you can't be serious. You say that UA teachers have basically any way to teach their class, especially you saying your homeroom teacher. There's no way that you have the authority to expel a student on the very first day. Sir. This has to be a scare tactic, after all, just because some of us can't take it seriously. With then hearing this, as he having that of a serious look saying, oh, you think that this is fair? And you think that this is just a scare tactic? Hardly. The world is full of unfairness, and I'm the one who decides on who gets to be a hero and who doesn't, and who doesn't have the potential for it. Because if you don't have the potential for being a hero, because you'll be facing against that of power-hungry villains, natural disasters, and many other forms of horror in this world. Because the pros are supposed to combat that unfairness, take on the things of this world that normal people can't, unless you have the potential, the drive, or the will to go beyond your limits, to go beyond what UA is known for, plus ultra style, then I deem you no potential and not worthy to even be at this school. Got it? Within hearing that, soon, Aizawa saying, prove me wrong that you all deserve to be here. And if anyone who comes in last place proves me right that they don't belong here. Got it? With that, soon, everybody decides to listen and decide to give it their all in this test. With even Izuku doing the same, as maybe he doesn't have his dual disc, but maybe that's a blessing in disguise. Being the 50-meter dash with several people already going first, with the one with the highest time currently is Ida, with everyone else already going, with the last one being that of Izuku and Bakugo. Within, soon Bakugo thinking this would be my perfect time to put that damn nerd in his place. Within, Izuku pulling out that of his deck of cards. With it, as Bakugo seeing this saying, what the hell is he doing with those damn cards? Within thinking, wait, when has he had freaking cards like that before? And why the hell do they look familiar? Within, Izuku seeing the card that he wants, before soon putting the rest of the cards up in his pocket, and then channeling his Ba and Ka into that of the very card. As he says, I summon Neo-Spacian Dark Panther! And is materializing in motes of light is that of the Cape Crusader Neo-Spacian Dark Panther. As he lets off that of a roar, before then looking back at Izuku as he speaks to him saying, you want to get on my back, Izuku? Saying, I hope it's not too much on you, buddy. As Dark Panther going, not too much of a problem at all. As he gets on that of the Panther's back, within realizing, I can't believe it. You really are solid. Saying, as long as you continue to channel Ba and Ka in me, I can stay out here as long as I need to be. And even become solid enough to do so. With Izuku saying, guess this is the first time for everything, testing stuff like this out. As for Bakugo, his jaw basically dropped and out of complete and utter shock. As he thinks, no way, Deku has a quirk? He said he was quirkless. He's always been quirkless. Has he been hiding his quirk in front of me? Before then, that's when the bot basically saying, go, as he basically hits that of a gunshot sound effect. With that of Black Panther already blitzing past that of Bakugo, with Bakugo still stunned. Before then, his anger and rage cloud his judgment, saying, Deku! Before blasting towards that of Izuku and the finish line. However, it was already too late, as Izuku got that of 4.50 seconds, with Bakugo coming behind him at that of 5.02 seconds. However, instead of stopping, he goes straight to attack that of Izuku, saying, you're gonna tell me how long you've had your quirk! Within, Izuku freaking out a little bit. Before then, Dark Panther not holding anything back with that of his narrowed eyes. Before then, jumping up into the air and screaming, "Dark Slash!" Sending that of a a claw mark of slashes towards Bakugo, with Bakugo seeing this as he gets hit by it and soon even scratches right through that of his gym uniform. However, thankfully, it doesn't, draw any blood from him, but does leave one heck of that of red claw marks on his chest. Within, soon seeing this, Bakugo was basically wrapped up, and not just him, but even Izuku as well, as he's no longer focusing his Ba and Ka, causing that of, Dark Panther to disappear. With then, soon saying, "You two want to explain what the hell you think you're doing?" Starting with you, Bakugo. With Bakugo basically trying to escape from that of the wrappings. However, no matter how much he tries, it feels like the wrappings are tightening more and more around him, saying, "Why the hell can I not use my quirk on here?" With saying, "Because I'm turning it off, you idiot." Within, soon Izuku saying, "Turning it off?" Before soon noticing that of Aizawa, especially the goggles around his neck, saying, "Wait, a crow hero that's able to basically turn off quirks. And he's more known for that of his yellow custom goggles. You're the underground pro hero, the erase hero, Eraserhead." With everybody else kind of confused on what the hell's going on before hearing Aizawa's hero name, Eraserhead, with many of them not knowing who the guy even is or even heard of him. However, Alexis spoke up saying, "He's an underground pro hero. He doesn't really do jobs. He doesn't really do limelight. Normally, if anybody knew, underground pro heroes are basically excused from the pro hero rankings. Sure, they can still be part of them and even take part in gaining that of merch and other stuff, but usually the more diehard variants of underground pro heroes like Aizawa or Eraserhead care little for media, fame, or stuff like that at all. If anything, he's completely not even anybody knows about him even existing outside of those who are also fellow pro heroes or those who are diehard hero fans. I'm guessing within, she's smiling at Izuku saying, Midoriya is a diehard hero fanboy, as she can't help but look at that of Izuku, who's barely struggling, unlike Bakugo, who continues to struggle, thinking, "I think you would like him, big bro." Within, soon letting go of Izuku as saying, "Midoriya, the hell was that all about?" Saying, "I don't know. Kachan just, straight up attacked me." And within, speaking to that of Dark Panther, saying, "Dark Panther, what was that about?" "He was about to attack you, Izuku. You expect me to not? Sure, I will listen to your orders to only attack when necessary, but as your dual spirit, my first and foremost priority is protecting you." Understood? With Izuku sighing, saying, "Yeah, I get it. It's the side effect of my quirk. It automatically comes to protect me no matter what." Within, realizing, I didn't even put him in defense mode. Kachan took a straight attack from that of Dark Panther. Dark Panther's claw marks are strong enough to even cut through that of steel. But yet, Kachan's able to still hold his own. I'm guessing he really did train himself quite hard if he's able to withstand that. With then hearing the explanation from Izuku, saying that it was mainly self-defense before Bakugo is no longer struggling and deciding to stay calm, saying, "I needed answers from the damn nerd. He's not supposed to have a quirk." Within, hearing that, Izuku couldn't help but flinch before everybody else saying, "Isn't supposed to have a quirk? What is he talking about? What do you mean not supposed to have a quirk? How would he get into Hero Course if he didn't have one?" With Izuku feeling like on the spot there, before then, Aizawa huffing, saying, "Look, I'm already aware that the two of you came to the same school, and honestly, I don't care what kind of beef you have with each other. Bakugo, try something like that again, and you're expelling you on the spot, alongside the person who's in last place. And Midoriya, keep yourself in check too." Within saying, "Yes, sir," with Bakugo growling and that of annoyance, before huffing and going to the side, before taking one glance back at Izuku, before then saying, "That damn lying ass bastard." So that means that damn entity, that damn person that saved me last year with a sludge villain was within, remembering elemental hero Neos and how he saved Bakugo without even trying, saying, "He saved me without even breaking a sweat." Not to mention seeing that of his torn, gym uniform, with that as he basically actually winces, even though that of Dark Panther didn't basically draw blood, it's still, the mark is still pretty red and still hurts like hell, saying, "That attack really hurt like hell. Can't believe it. Think all this time Deku was lying and basically hiding his quirk all this time. Probably laughing behind my back this entire damn time, too. Pitying me and looking down on me. All this damn time." As Bakugo gritting his teeth, clenching his fist in out of pure anger, saying, "I won't let that damn nerd surpass me. No chance in hell." With that little incident out of the way, they get back into out of the quirk apprehension test. With many of the other tests, like the grip strength test, Izuku deciding to use that of elemental hero Neos Atlas. Basically, take that of elemental hero Neos, but make him a lot more shorter. And, almost the same size as Izuku, but at least a little bit more taller. With probably around that of 5'7" to be fair. With that, using that of the grip strength, measuring the grip strength of Neos Atlas. And basically, he reaches pretty much the same, grip strength as that of Shoji, actually, who was at the top alongside that of Sato, showing that the little guy is carrying a lot more muscle than he looks. Next up, the standard long jump, where, once again, Izuku brought out another one of his Neospacians, being that of Neospatian Air Hummingbird, to just, fly him over, to be honest, pretty easily. Next up is that of the side steps, where Izuku was thinking about bringing out another one of his Neospacians, possibly even that of elemental hero Neos himself, but deciding to hold off on it and bring out that of Neospatian Glow Moss, as of course she was going to be able to help out. And yes, Glow Moss is a female. A lot of people don't know that, especially when you find out about her upgraded fusion form, but we'll talk about that later. With the help of Glow Moss, who's basically stretching out her body to help out Izuku, goes side to side pretty quickly, which almost makes Izuku want to hurl. But even so, he makes it through pretty easily. With the next one being that of pull-ups, then there's sit-ups as well. No need to basically use that of his Neospacians for this one, to be fair. Next up is that of the ball throw, with Izuku going to that of the circle this time, after Kaminari finished. With then, as he thinks at the ball, he soon thinks about which card he should use, as of course, he was definitely going to go with Neos. Why not end this off with that of a bang after all? But instead, why use the one of his regular Neos, but not use that of the other Neoses? Of course, he can't use that of Contact Fusion right now without his dual disc, but that doesn't mean he can still go out with a bang, as during his time, there are a few times where some random cards just end up inside of his decks, especially his Neos deck. Like he gained that of a new version of Elemental Hero Neos. It was also the same with that of Neospatian Pathfinder and also Elemental Hero Neos Atlas as well. Like, they just appear one day without him even needing to pay to buy new cards. At first, he was kind of shocked by this, thinking he stole them, or did they come with, or did his mom get them? But deciding to just leave it as it be. But little did he know, turns out the dual spirits are starting to well, connect to him in more ways than one. And so, time to finally debut that of this bad boy. Here we go. I summon Elemental Hero Honest Neos! Within showing that of the glory of his signature monster and signature dual spirit partner, that being Elemental Hero Neos, but with Neos having that of large wings on his back, would show him almost like that of a majestic alien angel, with everybody basically shocked. Even Aizawa couldn't help but be caught off guard. And for some reason, it reminded him of a certain pro hero, a certain number one pro hero, Oath, to be fair. But what if he basically had wings like an angel? Even Bakugo couldn't help but be shocked by this. As looking at Neos, he can't help but also be reminded of the hero he admires, the hero he wants to be, and the hero he wants to surpass more than anybody, All Might. Within floating down, saying, "You ready for this, partner?" Saying, "You got it. You know what to do." Offering off that of the ball, before then flying up high up into the air, winding that of the ball quite high, within saying, "Here comes the pitch!" Before then throwing it as hard as he can, so far as throwing it so far and so high, to the point that it almost looks like it basically became that of a twinkle in the sky, to the point that Aizawa basically had to give Izuku that of the infinity, just like Ochako. With everybody shocked by this, even Bakugo too, Aizawa couldn't help but huff, saying, "I guess we have a tie for first place for this task." First time, and it's really annoying. With that, the next up being that of the long distance run, being the last one, and everybody giving it their all. Hell, the only people that are basically still into it is that of Ida, Izuku, on that of, Neospatian Dark Panther again, Momo Yaoyorozu on that of an electric scooter. You also have that of a dual-haired toned young man with a scar on the left side of his face, using ice to keep on basically going through, alongside that of Bakugo constantly trying to use his explosions to catch up. With seeing how much that they're trying to continue going, he basically telling them to stop, and they don't have all day after all. Even though these tests basically did take almost all day to finish. Because normally standardized tests like this take in clusters over the week after all. Not all at once, leaving everybody completely and utterly exhausted. With then getting at least out of a good few minutes to rest, with Aizawa saying, "Alright, now with all this taken care of, let's see that of your results." With then soon seeing everybody's placement, with first place being that of Momo Yaoyorozu, second place being Izuku, third place being Shoto Todoroki, fourth place being Katsuki Bakugo, fifth place being Tenya Ida, and so on and so forth. With last place having that of a short guy by the name of Minoru Mineta. With that as that short guy with that of with that of purple like balls that look like grapes on his head, basically freaking out and crying that of tears of blood. At least about to. With then soon Aizawa saying, "Oh, also I lied. Nobody's getting expelled today. So it was all just a ruse." Within hearing that, everybody couldn't help but scream, "You gotta be kidding me!" Within soon, Alexis saying, "Figures as much. You did the same thing to my brother as well during last year." Within, everybody basically looking at Alexis with saying, "Many of you don't know this, but my older brother was a member of the UA second year. During his first year, being part of Class 1A, he had a teacher who basically expelled his entire homeroom class. However, soon after, he enrolled them right back into that of the day after, he enrolled them right back into that of the school, basically giving them a black mark in that of their school records. Supposed to symbolize if they wanted to basically get out that they have to be serious and take everything that they do seriously once they go that of pro, after all, and be in that of the hero course, because there's no do-overs anymore or no second chances. Am I right? Within, as I was saying, you got that a lot from your big brother. I'm impressed, saying, he doesn't know when to shut up, that's all. Within, Momo realizing, so we were really about to be expelled? And a black mark? With then everybody realizing again, black marks are basically a death sentence in that of Japan academics, after all. Getting expelled once is just enough to basically ruin your entire life. But then Aizawa was saying, then be lucky that none of you do have one after all. Because it's only a few times when I don't expel the entire class, but only expel half of them. Because there's only one student in the entirety of UA, outside of a select few, who I basically would never expel no matter what. And to be honest, none of you have what he has. With then, hearing that, soon, as I was saying, remember what I told you. Once you change and go back to the homeroom class, your syllabus would be ready on that of the table, on that of the teacher's desk. And there, you can head out. Just remember that this is what you all signed up for, after all. Hope you don't regret it. With that, Aizawa soon walks off, leaving everybody in class 1A shocked. Within, soon, that's when Neospacian's Grand Mole spoke up saying, that guy is scary. Within, Izuku saying, you're telling me, buddy, you're telling me. As the first day at UA has finally come to that of a quite scary and somewhat stressful end. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. So, what did you guys think? Honestly, this kind of went out a little bit longer than I expected, to be honest, to be fair, if I'm going to be completely fair, but that's my own fault. As for the thing I wanted to talk about, and that is, well, do you guys want me to add that of fan-made, Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters into this? Normally I was going to basically just keep it all official monsters from that of the TCG official cards, after all. Even banned cards, too, as well. But other than that, nothing else, to be fair. But then I got the idea about certain, combinations and monsters that would be unique if they were added to that of this what if, after all. So I'll probably make a poll and you guys decide. Should I keep it all official cards, or should I add that of fan-made cards? You guys decide. At any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to get my videos below the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my other channel, my side channel, my Patreon, and my Cash App. All link in description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later, guys, and hope you all take care. Thank you so much for watching and staying to the end of the video.
But there's still so much on my love channel.
That's right, such as my other what if content and the most recent what ifs as well.
Not to mention his playlist, where you can watch all of his other what ifs.
Which, all said and done, this is Leon.
And Shiro.
And you're watching Leon Mookie.